Everybody, welcome into the Wager Talk TV YouTube channel. I'm Tony Mejia. We are going to talk about the final game of the WNBA's unofficial first half. We are going on Olympic break after this one, and without baseball till Friday, and MLS and some other soccer games on Wednesday night. This is your marquee matchup, your primary chance to make some money. It's Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever visiting the Dallas Wings in the W. And check this out. This is going to be a fun matchup because it is the first time this season that these two teams have faced each other, which means it's the first time that Caitlin Clark and Arike Ogunbowale, both #1 overall picks in their past, will square off on a professional basketball court. So really fun one here, despite the fact that these are two sub 500 teams. The Fever come in at 11-14 straight up and 14-11 against the number. The Wings, the worst team in the WNBA thus far, 5-19 straight up and 2-17 over their last 19, and they're 7-17 against the number, having covered just one of their last 11. The setting is College Park Center at the campus of the University of Texas at Arlington, UTA. And it is noteworthy here because it is the smallest arena that Caitlin Clark will have played in as a pro. The Mohegan Sun sits under 9,000. They played one game at the Michelob Ultra Arena at the Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas, and the Wintrust Center in Chicago, where DePaul plays its games, also right around the 10,000 mark. But this one is a cozy 7,000. Don't know why they didn't move it to the American Airlines Center, but they didn't. So this game will be played in front of a crowd of about 7,000, maybe a little more. And the Wings, not necessarily a great home team, although they have played better at home than they have on the road. They are 1-5 in July. They were 1-11 in June. And last season, when these teams met, Dallas did win 2 out of 3. Latricia Trammell had a great year last year in her first season as the Dallas head coach. Not so great this year, but she is 2-1 against Christy Sides. And their meetings last year were very interesting because we're going to talk total in this game. They played a 110-100 game. They played a 97-84 contest that went into overtime. And the first Dallas meeting between these two, Dallas won in Indiana 77-76. So we're expecting by history standpoint at least, a close game and a high-scoring game. And odds makers have adjusted a total that opened at 173.5, was quickly bet up to 176.5. Now it's evening out at 178.5, 179. So clearly these are two higher scoring teams. They have two of the more dynamic guards in the W, and Clark and Ogunbowale. So we'll see if we do get a shootout. The Fever opened as a 4-point road favorite. It's now been bet down to 3.5. We'll talk about the side as well. Fever 7th in the WNBA, would make the playoffs. Like I mentioned earlier, the Wings are 12th out of 12. A victory here in the finale before we go on Olympic break would tie them with the Washington Mystics for the WNBA's basement. Indiana's 5-9 on the road, and Indiana 3-7 at home. The Fever are 16-9 to the over, but the under is cashed in 5 of their last 7 games, while the Dream are 16-9 to the high side, and the over is cashed in 8 of the last 10. Indiana, like I mentioned, favored. Not necessarily a lot of history with them as a favorite because they started so poorly, but they've performed well in that role. They're 6-2 straight up, 5-3 against the number. And one interesting thing to note is 7 of their 8 games when they've been favored have gone to the over. So certainly a lot of data would be pointing you in the high side's direction. The Dream have not covered, the Wings have not covered this month at all. After covering 5 of their first 6 games, they've been dreadful against the spread. If you have faded Dallas, you have made a lot of money. They've had an 11-game losing streak this season, and like I mentioned, over their last 17, have only won twice straight up. Their last 2 wins have come at home, though, against the Lynx in an upset over the shorthanded Atlanta Dream. And so in this game, no real new injuries to talk about. Tammy Fagbenle still out for Indiana. They're hoping to have her back and at 100% when the Olympic break is over. Dallas has been without Maddie Siegrist, who was in the conversation for most improved. Maddie Buckets should be back after the Olympic break. She's dealing with a finger injury. And Satu Sabali has not played at all this season. She is hoping to play for the German Olympic team and then be back for the pickup of the second half of the season, the stretch run for the W in mid-August. Indiana will have to deal with Tiara McCowan and Kalani Brown. They're both 6'7", so we'll see if Boston and Nalissa Smith will be able to maneuver around the basket. This is also a reunion of sorts between the top two players in the Big Ten last season as Caitlin Clark meets old nemesis Jaycee Sheldon of Ohio State. Jaycee went in the top 7 in the past WNBA draft. She's had a decent rookie season, certainly not as prolific as Caitlin Clark, but she's a fantastic athlete. Comes off a 6.5 rebound to assist game in Dallas's most recent contest, a loss to the LA Sparks over the weekend. I thought the Wings would win that game. It was Odyssey Sims' birthday. She balled out, but Arike Ogunbowale really struggled in that contest. 2 for 15 from the field, 2 for 9 from 3. So we'll start with her. Let's go with Ogunbowale. Not going to the Olympics either. She will be on the U.S. The WNBA All-Star team that will play against the U.S. women's basketball team on Saturday night in Phoenix as the WNBA All-Star game. And Ogunbowale, I'm sure, is going to want to give them work. To me, she was more of a snub than Caitlin Clark, but she has been out of the national program picture now for the past few months. So she would not even get the call right now if there were an injury. And I'm sure Ogunbowale has something to prove this week. So for me, I think that the best bet in this entire game is to back her over on 32.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Her points total in this game is 23.5. I think she eclipses that. There are times where Ogunbowale just takes over an offense, and if she gets in a rhythm, watch out. There really is no more explosive scorer in the WNBA. So I'm looking for her to bounce back from an awful performance against LA and to give Indiana work in this contest. Caitlin Clark, minus 140 to record a double-double in this game. And she had a nice run going of 10 assists or more. The scoring, it comes and goes. If she's hitting her threes, it will certainly be there. It's only minus 140. Not too juicy for me to stay off of this. And be aware that Caitlin Clark to record a triple-double in this game is at plus 900. Her PRA number here is 35.5. I'm going to stay off of both the PRA and the triple-double in this game, but I do think she does record a double-double, so I would lay the minus 140. I also like the over on Alyssa Smith points at plus 2 at over 12.5. So more than 12.5 points for Nalissa Smith. I'm going to stay off Aaliyah Boston in this game as well, concerned about the size disadvantage that she's at against the Twin Towers in McCowan and Brown for Dallas. So I think, look, this is a game that I think is going to be competitive. So if I was going to take a side, it would be the Wings plus the points. Would have liked to have the 4, and there's still some out there. Currently, it's 3.5. I also lean to the over. I think the original total of 173.5 set entirely too low. So if you're watching this video and you want to lay the over on 178 and 179 or so, you have my blessing. I think I might even join you on that and hope for a shootout here. But again, my best bet in this game is Arike Ogunbowale over 32.5 points, rebounds, and assists. I think she tops the 23.5 point mark. I want you to smash that like button for me, pulverize it. Make sure you're subscribed to Wager Talk TV. Even though the WNBA is going on break, we will talk Olympics over the next month. We've got a ton of MLB, which returns on Friday, and we're going to get you prepared for football season, both college and pro, any way that you can slice it, with conference previews, team previews, betting previews of all kinds. So make sure that you are subscribed to Wager Talk TV. Please follow me on Twitter at Mejia Dinero, spelling down there below, and I will accompany you on this Olympic journey. We'll bet some in-game bets. You can check out all of my takes, and you can also get free plays from me at pb.buzz. Oh, wow, I've got all my buzzes messed up. It's sm.buzz/TDM. Trust me, I've got a lot of buzzes out there. Also, be aware that we have a 3-day pass available from me that you can also get a $20 discount on by using the code TM30day. That's TM30DAY. So a ton of stuff going on. Please join us all summer. Smash that like button. And tonight, we will bet Arike Ogunbowale over her points, rebounds, and assists with leans to the Dallas Wings plus 3.5 and the Dallas Wings Indiana Fever going over 178.5 points. You can watch this game on ESPN. Really not much else on. So what else are you going to do? And make some money while you're doing it. I'm Tony Mejia. Thanks for watching.